The never-ending fog. Whoa. The never-ending fog. Look at this. I honestly think that this is worse than yesterday's. This is pretty thick. Move along, folks. Move along. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Galveston, Texas. Not very busy down here at the moment. Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here, walking down a long road that has no sidewalks, and those dogs over there are barking very loudly. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's pay no attention to me, dogs. I'm just a harmless vlogger. It's the Daily Woo. And right next door to those fellas just so happens to be the old stomping grounds of the one and only pirate, Jean Lafitte. Starting in 1817, he lived right there. And no matter how many hurricanes pass through this area, part of the structure still remains. And even though it is fenced and barbed wired off, for some reason, the door stands wide open, and I am able to go inside the perimeter. Now, he only lived in Galveston for 4 years, but just imagine the tomfoolery and the hullabaloo and the pirate goodness. Are pirates full of goodness? Some of them are. That happened right inside this home. At the time, it was a 2-story building, and of course the top structure has over time deteriorated or been removed. But as the story goes, he had a collection of what they call his booty inside, stuff he had pilfered and pillaged. He kept right inside these doors. It's pretty fascinating that this still remains. These stairs are pretty incredible. You can see how the water over time has started to corrode, but they still exist. One of the world's most famous pirates walked right up these exact stairs. The tree that has been removed right here, inside the stump, resembles a creepy owl, like an owl face, almost like it's speaking to me. There's his mouth. It's a little spooky. And as it goes with any old place, especially when it involves a historical or popular figure, they say the ghost of him can be seen walking these grounds on certain evenings. And this was not planned, but I have just stumbled upon a spider web. Look at that! Ambiance overload. It's also very interesting right here at the entryway to the property. Look at the emblems in the side of the rocks. It almost looks like a cannon, symbolizing maybe a sideways cannon, or maybe it's just my imagination that's making me think that. Either way, it's pretty cool. There's even chunks of the wood here still remain nailed into the rock. Very fascinating. Could you imagine being the neighbor here? Wonder if they have any interesting stories. Maybe that's why they have those guard dogs. The one room that remains that's enclosed from the ground level has had a hole busted in the roof. And you can kind of see down in there. There's no telling what happened down inside there. The stories might be true. I should probably get out of here before he comes home. Lots of dogs around here. Lots of dogs. Really didn't need the jacket. Didn't realize how far I was gonna walk. Should not have put the jacket on. Now, it's warm. The weather fooled me for about 5 seconds this morning. I always like stained glass windows. This one especially. There's Jesus over the shoulder of a very young sea captain guiding the way. When I think of an evil villain from the movies, these are the switches that I imagine them turning to make all their evil deeds happen. What the heck is that at the top of that alley? This area of town and the road itself is called the Strand. It has that New Orleans architecture, a lot of very historical buildings through here. This particular building is called Hindley Row, and it was built in 1859. That's what it looked like then, and this is what it looks like now. Pretty much the same. I really do love old buildings, and even more so when they become way more than 100 years old. I just think of the past generations that walked around here, just doing their thing. If you drive through this intersection and through that light, you will be met with a big metal fish just there to say hello. Some of the buildings are under reconstruction just to get them back to their past glory. Man, this thing is awesome. Old style pillars there. This is probably a bank or something at one point. It's very difficult for me to walk past a cigar store Indian without saying hi. This guy's a little bit shorter than normal though. In fact, he's standing on top of a rock just so he can be close to make eye contact with me. The top part of this building reminds me of something very Haunted Mansion-esque. They do love their pirates and their haunted legends here in Galveston. Not only is he a skeleton, but also his trusty companion, the parrot, is also one. And if you're so inclined, you get a picture in front of that nice little photo op. It's very difficult to not stare at this architecture. Look how amazing these buildings are. Just the little details put into all the little nooks and crannies. You really don't see stuff like this in the current day. Wow, I think directly before me is pretty much the Daily Planet. Clark Kent working in there? Superman? This used to be the Merchants Mutual Insurance Company building, built in 1870. And here were guys posing, sitting in the windows that are right there. They were just sitting up in there getting their pictures taken for posterity. Two very interesting structures here. This massive trumpet, which is about the size of my RV, and then next to it, these windows on the top of this building. Kind of a cool little atrium. Very interesting design. These apartments called the Lofts have a very old school awesome sign. Look at that thing. That's like something out of maybe the 50s or maybe even the late 40s. Fog still very prevalent, even as the day progresses. The old city bank, at first glance, you could compare this to the clock tower from Back to the Future, but this reminds me more of the bank from Day of the Dead, when the huge alligator slithers down the stairs. If you remember that from the George Romero classic, that's what this looks almost exactly like. But still can't disregard imagining Doc Brown up there, channeling, harnessing the lightning. Check this out. This is the Hurricane Ike high water level on September 13th, 2008. And right next door are some apartments. And there's this guy in front of them singing into a microphone. Or is that a cowbell? It's like a cowbell painted to look like a microphone. This is inside the old bank. Looks like they're renovating it, doing a little remodeling. Doesn't get much more classic than this. The Star Drugstore. Old Coca-Cola murals and an old soda fountain. Even though I'm in Texas, there are parts of this area which have a very strong old school Hollywood Boulevard vibe. Like this place. Look at that old neon sign there. Since 1935. You can faintly see it, but right there next to the Coca-Cola mural is an old Wrigley's spearmint gum painting on the side of those bricks. Wonder how old that is. I'm a complete sucker for old signage, especially neon ones. Look at this. I'm guessing this lights up and the light bulb on top does as well. The old electric service division building. Oh wow, and there's another one right there. You can faintly see it on the side of the wall. Imagine the memories inside that old theater there. And see, I'm not going crazy. Look at that. The Hollywood shop, even though it's closed, there is an air, Southern California. Even in this state, all this old neon. It's incredible. Especially these antique lights and the mural on the ground. That is awesome. And right here is where they used to have the posters for the upcoming movies. Still have the little placard area where it would have said now showing. Another Hurricane Ike water level marker. Just imagine all of this up to about 6 feet engulfed in water. This is the sort of pub you could picture pirates hanging out in. The old cellar bar. And proper attire is required. Oh man, no minors. If you've been working in the tunnels looking for coal, you're not allowed in there. And by the way, should those kids be playing on that truck? Probably not. The water tower looks like something out of a horror film. You can barely even see it or read what's on it. The fog. That's the beach right there. The water. I could basically throw a rock very gently and hit the waves. But you can't see it unless you have eagle-like eyes. Very difficult to see. In the year 1900, a huge hurricane came through these parts and killed over 6,000 people. And in remembrance of that, 100 years later, they built this statue as a memorial to those people. And in 2008, another hurricane swept across this shoreline, and this remained. That hurricane did not destroy the memory of the first hurricane. And at some point they built this concrete embankment called the seawall. It is decorated with artwork, but it stretches pretty far down the shoreline to keep the water from going up over the road and into homes and businesses. I've been thinking about bringing back the Ask Adam the Woo segment that I used to do 4, 5, 6 months ago. Basically, anyone that watches the videos that has a question that they want to ask me, that they want me to answer, I will answer if you are willing to put yourself or the question in some sort of format on video. I used to use Instagram and Twitter to do this, but I no longer have those social media platforms anymore, so I'm thinking about just using YouTube. If you are watching this video and you have left a comment, it means you have a YouTube profile and a YouTube account. That means you can upload a video onto your YouTube page. So just film something with your smartphone, with your laptop, with your camera, whatever you want to do. You can make it short, you can make it fun, you can make it interesting, something that will catch my eye, something that is clever, or something that is a really good question that you want me to answer. And I will pepper them in, hopefully every day, at least a few times a week. I will go through YouTube and I will search for Ask Adam the Woo. Just make sure when you title it, you put in the title, Ask Adam the Woo, and in the tags, Ask Adam the Woo, Adam the Woo. I will find your question, and oh yes, you have a very good percentage of a chance that I will answer it in the vlog. So, if you're into that, then do it. Oh, by the way, vlog. I didn't mean to hit you. Over.